Here we go.
Well, my name is Scott Maire. I grew up in a family of 11 kids, so I'm one of 11. We grew up Catholic, didn't ever read the Bible or anything, just mainly went to church on Sunday, and that was about the exposure I had. My parents became born again Christians when I was like 17 or 18 years old, and basically tried to force it on me at that time and just pushed me away more and more every time they brought it up. So from that time, from 17, 18 till the time I was like 40, I would even dread meeting with my parents or one of my brothers or sisters that were saved. And one time I invited my brother, he was actually trying to start a church, and he didn't have any money, and I was in Ohio, and I had a nice boat on Lake Erie, and I invited him up for a weekend or a long weekend is probably more like it, and he, knowing full well that I'd be witness to, but still felt that I needed to have some connection with my brother and his family. So we went fishing that day, had a real good day fishing, and on the way home, my brother, I said something about we're driving into saw the sun bursting through the rays of light bursting through the clouds, and it'd been 3 or 4 days since, and he hadn't said anything, so I was kind of surprised he hadn't witnessed to me or brought it up. And I said, look at the clouds, look at the sun, the rays of the sun. He goes, yep, I'm going there. Are you? And from that point on, we really didn't say much. I said, well, I don't know, we'll see. And he said, yep, when I get up in the morning, I look, and if there's clouds, he said, I'll be raised up into the clouds. And if there's sunshine, he said, well, I know it's not going to end today, or something along those lines. So that stuck with me. He went home. I proceeded to get in my car every morning about 7:30 to go out and work. And every morning, first thing I do when I get out to the car is look up to the sky and see if there's clouds or see if there's sun. And about 2 months of that, I said, this is driving me nuts. So I called him and gave my life to Christ over the phone with him. He lives in Missouri, and then joined the church and so forth. My life before that, I was kind of mean. I was just kind of angry. I was in business, but it was all about work, not about family or anything else. It's just all about work. So I got involved at a real good church in Toledo, actually Perrysburg, Ohio. And it was this church real similar to this. They were started in a school. They were about 3 or 4 years old, and then they ended up building a building right as I was promoted and transferred to Kentucky. So I moved to Kentucky and got into Northeast Christian Church here. Went there, led some small groups, but just kind of faded away from community pretty much. And from that point, then I got divorced. So that was a real rough time in my life, and kind of just forgot all about God. Well, recently married about 2 years now to Lisa, and we needed more than just us. We didn't really know anybody, and figured we'd get involved in a church, and especially a local church. And I've got a Bible, and I've read it. Probably read the whole thing, but really never grasped a lot of the information in it because of the words, the terminology, the cities. I'm just not a real big reader, and I really struggled a little bit with following along a storyline. So I'd read a little bit, and then I'd get hung up on a name of a city or one of the figures in the Bible. I'd start thinking about that more than what I was reading. So a friend of mine about 2 months ago sent me an email or a text or something that said, hey, try this Bible app. And it's the YouVersion Bible app. And so I got that. And ever since then, I've been listening to that on my commute in the morning. Instead of listening to Bob and Tom and all the trash on the radio and the commercials, I get in my truck and I set it up to play through the sync on a Ford truck, and it's just great to hear. It's like being read to as a child.
Mm.
It's real expressive, and I've just gotten so much more out of it. And I really started getting into it 2 months ago when you said our goal for 17 is to read through the New Testament, and I'm like, well, this can be easy now.
Yeah,
Whereas before,
I can knock this out.
Yeah, I can knock this out. And actually, that's when I really started using it about 2.5 months ago when you mentioned it. And I've been through all Matt, Mark, Luke, John, started Acts. And a lot of times I'll listen to a chapter, and if you get distracted on the highway or something, I'll just start it over and listen to that same chapter over and over, and it seems to pick up a little more every
awesome.
time I listen to
Yeah.
it. So I think I'm just nicer to people. The road rage doesn't affect me like it may have affected me before. Just kinder, gentler guy.
Yeah.
Where before I wasn't so much. So you can do it anywhere. I mean, if you're listening to music at work or wherever you're at, and whether you're on your way to work, on your commute, it just makes the commute seem like it goes real quick, and it's real clear how it comes across, and I'm learning a lot more, and makes me want to go back and actually study certain parts of it that I'm not quite so sure about, and then I can look into that.
Yeah.
The other thing is on the app is there's programs or plans.
Yeah.
For short little struggles for if you're struggling in a particular area, feeling down or something, you can look up an app for that, or a 4-day plan or a 5-day plan, and do a quick read on that. And